Welcome, everyone. This is Sandra Alexei from Game Changer and from my personal muse, okay? And because I have so many new followers, I just want to explain some things, okay? First of all, welcome, everyone. We're going through some major shifts and changes, okay? And I suggest that you probably like and subscribe to the channel because there's going to be some very exciting new videos coming out that may be a little bit shocking, but it is what is happening during our evolution and this transformation. Now, for those that know you, I have studied astrology, numerology, self-discovery for over 40 years, okay? So I do astrology, numerology. I have a B.Ed. I'm an author. I was born with a veil. I've had a near-death experience. And for me, life is all about self-discovery and really engaging in life, okay? And I'm highly creative, okay? So now, that being said, you can go on my personal muse website, mypersonalmuse.com, and I've just redone it, and I've put two together because I was a spa consultant and I authored some books. My publisher was in New York, so I've integrated everything, okay? So I've been redefining myself, okay, which we all are right now. And you can see what I do, all my services that I provide. And there is a photo album where you can go through. You can see all my testimonials and pictures of what I've done, so you get an idea of who I am if you choose to work with me, okay? I work as a spiritual coach, helping you and couples to kind of sort your life through. Now, the interesting thing is, so I come here today with talking about Game Changer, okay? Game Changer is a book that I co-authored with Michael, okay? And again, it was a karmic relationship that we've had. Very, very interesting, which I will share when we get into a special video, which will end this series, and it's talk about karmic relationships and why you're feeling the way you are, because there are people feeling, what am I in this relationship for, or they're meeting somebody or whatever, and so we'll sort that through. Basically, for me, when it comes to astrology, my guide is the ephemera. So I look up to see what are the planetary cycles, okay? How do I work with you as an individual? Well, I work with something called an astrology chart. I don't know if you can see it or not, but you can look. So there's one, and there's another one. And you can see that they're very different. This particular one has a lot of energy here underneath. This particular one is more balanced, okay? And so these are your, I would say, your blueprints, okay? So the day you were born, the time you were born, the place you were born, everything is in here. So my job and my studying, and I'm a member of ISAR, I've trained all these years with different teachers, okay, is to in fact read that. So I'm like an architect. I don't do the drawing, but I have to read it, and I can tell you about who you are, what your gifts were, what your purpose is, what karma is, and then we look at what the transiting planets, as they move around, what they tell me was happening for you. What are the changes? Okay, and so it's like an energetic forecast. Okay, it's similar to going in and having your, and that's why I believe that everybody should have it on their birthday, because it's like a maintenance. Okay, it's like this is our car. Our body is thought of as our vehicle when we're looking at energetic medicine, and so we want to make sure we go in and have our oil checked and changed and everything. So this is a similar process. It's nothing woofy or foo-foo or that type of thing, okay? So there's going to be this exciting new series because of some of the things that are happening. And I have been telling people since 2007 and 2008 and helping them prepare for these next couple of years and this huge transformation that has just hit. And yes, it is very chaotic. It is very scary. There is a tremendous amount of fear, but we have to look at what is the reason. And the biggest thing is, what are the facts and what are the stories? Okay, what's reality and what's illusion? And are we clear beings where we can use inquiry and think for ourselves and be connected to the divine? Or are we somebody that can be brainwashed and programmed? Okay, that's the message, and that's what this is all about. Okay, so I've shown you the book, I've shown you the charts, and now what I do want to say is what we're going into right now. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of the information. Is kind of like an overview, because the Venus series is about Venus, and it's going to be an intense 4 months. But the interesting thing is Earth Day comes because we've been in Aries. So Aries as an energy is like, it's about me, it's a fire sign, let's go, let's do type of thing. So that's been very frustrating when we've been in lockdown, because we all have an Aries energy somewhere in our chart. And it's funny, people will say to me, I don't like Cancer people. And I go, well, that's interesting. You have a Cancer part in you. We have every one of the signs, the 12 zodiac signs, somewhere in our chart. Okay. Now, what's happening? So on April the 20th, the sun is going to be in Taurus, and it is ruled by Venus. Okay, that's important. So this is called the Venus series. Okay, so what happened on April the 4th was Jupiter conjuncted Pluto. And it happens on June 30th and November 12th. I'll say this every video, because those are very intense energetic days. Intense as far as transformation, okay? Because Jupiter is about expanding, Pluto's transformation. So usually big things will happen. So you can go back and check what happened April 4th for you. Anyway, at the same day, okay, we have the planet Venus, and it moved into Gemini, and it goes in there until August. Now, so what Venus is here to teach us about is, because Venus rules Taurus, and Venus also rules Libra, which is about relationships. So we have Taurus, that's an earth sign, ruled by Venus. We have Libra, okay, it's an air sign ruled by Venus. What do they have in common? Well, when everybody thinks of Venus, it's love and beauty and relationships and all those kind of things. Sure it is. But it's also about worth, value, huge when it comes to finances. Finances are, money is just energy. How do you move your energy? Which is something only you know. You need to do that self-discovery work for you. Anyway, so April the 4th, it goes into Gemini. Then on May 13th, it retrogrades. We're in the shadow stage right now, so it's starting to move in. That's going to be the big one, because it retrogrades at 21 degrees Gemini, okay, on May 13th. It does not come out of retrograde until June 25th at 5 degrees Gemini. That particular time, we go in and we're going to rework, reassess, re-edit, revisit, re. And I will have a special section specifically on that just before it happens. Then on August the 8th, we finally finish this Venus cycle, because Venus moves into 0 degrees Cancer, okay? Another big event that coincides with it, because people, well, what's with Venus, okay, and Gemini? Well, the big event on May the 5th, which is within this time frame, the lunar nodes, and your nodes are really about past life, okay? And they leave Cancer, Capricorn. They've been there for 18 months. So they move into, guess what? Gemini and Sagittarius. Okay, there's the axis for 18 months. So they'll be there until January the 18th, 2020. There's also lots of eclipses this year, and it is a year of retrogrades. So all of this stuff I will explain at different, I try to have one, at the very most 2 videos per week, because I do not want to overwhelm you, because I know that everybody has got other things on their mind that they're doing at this specific time. Okay, so with these videos, okay, in the Venus series, we're going to cover each event and also in between. Okay, so we have a wonderful, wonderful new moon at 3 degrees of Taurus, and that'll be on April 22nd. And new moons are always new beginnings. So it will help you clarify different things. And again, it's in Taurus, okay, which again is what? Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus in Gemini. So there is the connection. So all of you Tauruses, okay, might really want to look at having a session or a reading, because you're right in the middle of a Venus adventure, and that's your journey. But the interesting thing is everybody has a Taurus house somewhere in their chart, in these charts. Somewhere there's one, and we read it, okay? But another most interesting thing is Uranus, which is the planet. I look at planetary cycles and the cosmic order. There is an order. We have the seasons, we have the full moons, the new moons, we have the eclipses, the solstices, all the planetary movements. I mean, they're here. But the interesting thing is Uranus, which is the awakener, okay, moved into Taurus. That's why there's huge shifts for Taurus and for you in your personal chart, wherever Taurus sits, on May the 6th, 2019. And it stays there for 7 years until July 8th, 2025. And it is the cycle of change, okay, for you, okay, for everybody, because it's in their charts. So another thing I wanted to say was the reason we're talking about Venus and relationships and Aquarius, and what got me going on Game Changer about 8 years ago, I started writing about it because I was doing a lot of work on relationships and on my own personal relationship all my life. But we found that marriages were breaking down, okay? And so marriage and relationships in the age of Aquarius, why is the traditional marriage falling apart? And those, we have some messages for you. That's all I can say. You can either accept it or not. It might twig something in for you. It might give you some kind of epiphany, because you have to look at it yourself. Okay. The one thing I do want to say today is what we're going to talk about is that we each have feminine and masculine energies. And the age of Aquarius asks us, number one, to integrate left, right brain, masculine, feminine, and head, heart, and our hera. Okay, so we're going to start here. So we know that the relationships are suffering. Family structures have been deconstructed, okay? And that basically is in the book. And I have a great press release if somebody wants to see it. Maybe I can see if I can put it on the YouTube. Addictions are being taken seriously. Drugs, alcohol, sex, spending, eating, self-help, spiritualism, anything to escape the reality, okay? Individuals are waking up one day, though, and they're saying, I can't do this relationship anymore. We're in the Aquarian interdependent relationship era, totally whole individuals. So the bottom line is, and one of the biggest investments you will ever make in your life is your relationship. It will make you, it will break you physically, financially, emotionally, spiritually, whatever, okay? It is an investment, and that's why we have to be more discerning. And we do know that emotionally, when the sex is involved and the dopamine is going and the oxytocin and everything, we're not thinking, we get lost in that. Okay, so we can't make a discernment, and you suffer and the children suffer. Okay, that's the big thing right now. Traditionally, Aquarius. Let's talk about what the Aquarian energy is. We've moved from the Piscean. We'll talk about that in another time. Aquarius today. It deals with electricity, with computers, with flight, democracy, freedom, humanitarianism, idealism, modernization, astrology, nervous disorders, rebellion, nonconformity, philanthropy, perseverance, independence, humanity, and irresolution. Aquarians are really humanitarians who stand for what? Fairness, democracy, and freedom. The energy about equality, which we're going to discuss, which means everybody has the responsibility to become self-sufficient. It's about having self-mastery. And Uranus is the planet of freedom and revolutionary vision, the urge for change and the ability to visualize new possibilities. Saturn also rules Aquarius. Uranus does, and Saturn. And it's about truth, pragmatism, hard work, accountability, frugality, simplicity. So what is your vision? So my thing is, we are like the caterpillar, the chrysalis, and we're becoming butterflies. That's our freedom. Okay, so what does it mean to be free? What means to be free is you're totally responsible and accountable for creating your life, for finding your purpose, what are your gifts, sharing them with humanity, which in fact, then you get energy back, which is going to be money, and we exchange all of that type of thing. And so it's about being of service, okay? Not being a vampire, okay? The hard reality of this change, 2020, is about finding a new order. The old one's not working. Okay, and I said that in 2007 and 2008. Pluto is here to totally destroy it. Okay, we are clinging to outmodal models of being. But when I look at the structures in society, it has been said, okay, what will be deconstructed: politics, education, religion, healthcare, relationships, all of that, okay? Because the majority are based, not equality, it's the higher up, okay? But it's based on greed, corruption, okay? There's a lot of that. I say what we're going through is like an Armageddon. It's a dark force and a light force. And I believe that the light will win. All that's happening is all this stuff is exposed, and that's with ourselves. We need to look at our shadows so that we can move forward and shine brightly. Okay? So we've got to break our old patterns. And because one believes in oneself, one doesn't need others' approval. Because one accepts oneself, the whole world accepts him or her. That's Lao Tzu. This can bring a natural state of what? Authenticity and transparency is what we're looking for. And harmony, peace, and a higher frequency. You know how we say, I like your vibes, you got good vibes? You feel that, that's a good frequency. You've been asked for years to go within and do your own work to align with the divine. And guess what happened? The majority of people didn't. So the cosmic order set something up, and what have we been? In lockup. For some, it's been fine. For others, it's been not so fine. I'm not here to judge. My question, how has that been for you? What did you discover? Okay. any shadow work we have, which is Carl Jung's work, which you can look up, okay? It's an unconscious aspect of ourselves that becomes part of the shadow. And so it's repressed and denied. And so I would say they're kind of like our hidden demons. Now, let's talk about the masculine and feminine, okay, in our bodies, okay, their fields and their psyches. Feminine energies tend to be felt on the left side, masculine on the right, okay? And when we say we're receiving, you know, the old thing about what was my itchy hand? Well, if my hand is itchy on the left, chances are I'm receiving money. If it's here, I'm paying money, okay? So it's about balance. Great to go to an Ayurvedic or a Chinese specialist, energy medicine, okay? We all have relationships with ourselves. So at times we're more masculine, more feminine. A lot of women who have been, who raised their family themselves, had to be in the corporate world, will take on the masculine energy, okay? That doesn't mean they don't have feminine energy. And we have a negative and positive of both the feminine and a masculine, which we're going to talk about. So let's talk about masculine energies, because it's like, oh my God, this masculine energy has been so bad. The feminine's been repressed. It's like, wow, interesting, okay? It's an archetype and it's a cultural projection. So the positive thing of a male or masculine energies, which we all have, are it's active, it's intelligent, it's logical, it's rational, it's linear, it's determined, it's reliable, strong, stable, protective, sensible, heroic, focused, single-minded, practical, goal-oriented, consistent, predictable, capable, smart, rugged, ordered, disciplined. Boom. Those are good. The negative aspects, which once we're into maybe the shadow, is rigid, stubborn, aggressive, tough, ruthless, violent, non-communicative, self-centered, authoritative, dominating, dogmatic, closed-minded, autocratic, rule-bound, heartless. Okay, now let's move to the feminine energy. The positive, again, feminine energies, archetypes, cultural projections. Positive is soft, warm, sweet, kind, loving, nurturing, gentle, creative, receptive, flexible, adaptive, yielding, forgiving, understanding, caring, caregiving, serving, peaceful, open-minded, beautiful, mysterious, spontaneous, ever-changing, inspirational. Okay, great. The negative, weak, emotional, irrational, illogical, unpredictable, bitchy, stupid, powerless, manipulative, controlling, indecisive, fickle. I call them energy vampires, okay? And they can be very manipulative. Now, guess what? We have both of those, so you can feel them, okay? Now we talk about the divine feminine and the divine masculine and the divine union of them within. In order to truly know divine love, we can access and bring it into our bodies through discovering the power of the divine marriage and divine union. This is the true expression of divinity through divine masculine, divine feminine love bond. Our first relationship is here, self-discovery with self, and with the divine, whatever that divine is to you, okay, and then you share it. So it's a soul relationship, okay? Divine masculine, we said, is loving and strong and consistent and that type of thing, and the feminine is gentle and whatever. Well, we each have that in us. There's some women that are very strong, okay, and some men that are very gentle. Each individual energy being that incarnated on the planet Earth has the spark of the divine within them, depending upon what your lessons are and what they have to teach is part of their personal divine plan. Some take the easy way out and stay enmeshed in the purely physical world and stay totally brainwashed and domesticated by their perceptions, beliefs, and values from their families, religion, education, and society. Some souls haven't been incarnated to complete their karma with certain souls and assist humanity in the evolution and ascension process. We call them light workers. The time has come for the ascension to move to the next level of the evolution of the soul. There is something greater than our personality or ego, and that is important to stay open and to connect with the divine source. We are an active participant in our lives' events. That's the idea of co-creating. We create lives by our decisions, choices, depending on your consciousness. Boy, you can either create heaven or hell, or in between, because we're going away from victimization. It's about responsibility. We are to consciously decide our life, free will, either a victim or move consciously into what? Self-mastery. We are always being and becoming. We intend to act from our authentic core. In spirit, we can. However, in ego, it is about us, what we want as an individual. No concept of coming here on a mission or purpose. I'm self-absorbed and I'm narcissistic. Of me, I do. But what you need to do, of me, I do nothing. It is the mother and father within me and the divine who have aligned with that does it. Here we have the concept of an integration of masculine and feminine principles with a deeper understanding of self, our true and authentic essence. We can have that sacred, first and most important relationship with ourselves. This experience allows for self-love, self-expression, self-worth, self-value, self-mastery, personal power, and strong boundaries to be able to come into touch with our purpose and work the purpose. Okay, right now there's so much happening that triggers our emotions, the media, the environment, politics, terrorism. If you understand that these emotions are symptoms of this shift, then you can go through them without losing your center. It's time to figure out what the lessons were when it comes to relationships. Okay, and so I want to thank you very much for taking your valued time to listen to this. A couple of things. I really look at the old philosophers like Plato, and of course a lot of the spiritual stuff, but Plato and Aristotle and them, and there was two important things I said. It's like, who are we and why are we here? So I'm going to leave that with you. And again, I thank you. And you can look at my personal muse if you would like to connect and have a reading. And I would really like you to share this video with somebody that you really care about. Think about purchasing Game Changer. The first chapter is awesome. Okay, it is all interactive exercises. It comes in audio and it comes in ebook. You can find it on Amazon, but you can find it right here. You can order it right on the YouTube. So I've talked to you about that and about subscribing if you would like to, and you know how to get a hold of me, and it would be great to leave a comment. And I hope to see you soon, and many blessings and much love. And it's really exciting times. Okay, if you can remember that. It's like we're learning to walk. Remember as a baby, or if you don't remember as a baby, which you probably won't, but if you've had children or you see somebody's child, they're learning to walk. They fall, they'll cut their head, or they'll do different things. We're walking, okay, we're kind of stumbling, then we start walking, then we come running. And the key is always the 8. It's to align the non-physical or divine with the physical, which is the physical body. Remember one thing, when we were born, we come in, we take our first breath. When we exit, that's all we're doing is exiting, we take our last breath. Much love and many blessings.